Since his debut in 2002, Brock Lesnar has been one of the most dominating and legitimate talents in WWE. Lesnar has had iconic rivalries and matches with the likes of Kurt Angle, The Undertaker and John Cena, and Lesnar has truly solidified himself as one of the all-time greats. Whilst Lesnar has had so many iconic moments, he's had his fair share of botches that need to be seen to be believed. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 of the most insane Brock Lesnar botches and fails. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Number 10. A botched F5. A Brock Lesnar's finishing move, the F5, should be relatively safe, as long as the wrestler taking the move doesn't land on their head. Unfortunately, this is exactly what happened in a match between Lesnar and A-Train in 2003. The two were wrestling on SmackDown and Lesnar was getting set to perform the F5, but he charged around the ring with A-Train on his shoulders. Then when Lesnar executed the move, A-Train landed on the top of his head. There was audible concern from fans in attendance, and you can even see based on Michael Cole and Taz's reaction that something went horribly wrong. It was a miracle that A-Train wasn't badly hurt, but from this point onwards, Lesnar will perform a standard F5, particularly on larger opponents such as A-Train. Number 9. The Slip. The 2022 SummerSlam pay-per-view was main evented by yet another encounter between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. This time the two would collide in a last man standing match, and to their credit, was without question their best match together. The match was well executed and featured a number of unique spots, including Brock Lesnar entering the arena on a tractor. The match was also known for a rather humorous botch involving Lesnar, and it was thanks to a slippery barricade. As Lesnar was making his way back to the ringside area after a brawl in the crowd, Lesnar attempted to leap onto the barricade, but he awkwardly slipped. Lesnar then simply abandoned the spot and acted like nothing had ever happened. Probably for the best. Number 8. The Crown Jewel Botch. Two WWE legends collided at the Crown Jewel in 2022 as Brock Lesnar faced Bobby Lashley. However, all fans could talk about after the match had culminated was the infamous botched finish. The finish saw Lashley perform the Hurt Lock on Lesnar, and Lesnar would proceed to kick himself backwards off the turnbuckle to secure the pin and the win. The issue was that Lashley's shoulders were firmly off the mat, meaning that the 3 count shouldn't have even been delivered. It was rumoured that this wasn't the planned finish of the match, and it was believed that Lesnar was supposed to flip over onto Lashley, which would have subsequently forced Lashley's shoulders to the mat. Number 7. Breaking Hardcore Holly's neck. One of the scariest botches in WWE history took place during a match between Brock Lesnar and Hardcore Holly in 2002. The botch occurred when Lashley executed a powerbomb on Holly, but the timing was off and Lesnar dropped Holly right on his neck. This botch move broke Holly's neck and he was forced to take an extensive amount of time away from WWE. In an interview with Diamond Joe, Holly offered some insight into the match, and the former Hardcore champion revealed that Lesnar was unwell during the match itself.
What happened was, we'd been wrestling for about 10 minutes. Brock, he was sick, and we're both blown up. And he went to pick me up to powerbomb me. And I tried to come up, I tried to grab his head, and I couldn't quite reach it. And he ended up, we ended up going back down, and he tried to hold me. And that was it.
WWE would use the botch as a catalyst for a featured feud between the two wrestlers, and the two would eventually collide at the 2004 Royal Rumble in a match for the WWE title. Number 6. Performing in AA. Brock Lesnar accidentally paid tribute to one of his arch rivals on July 11th, 2022 edition of Raw. Lesnar was involved in a well-received segment with Alpha Academy, and the segment would come to a close after Lesnar would perform what was supposed to be an F5 on Otis through the announce table. The problem was that Lesnar didn't perform an F5, he performed an attitude adjustment. This botch was quickly called out on social media, and it was unclear where the blame fell. Nevertheless, it didn't take away from what was a fantastic segment. Number 5. Accidentally punching John Cena. The 2012 WWE return of Lesnar was a return that nobody saw coming. Lesnar resented his prior run in the company, and thanks to a successful run in UFC, he was now one of the biggest names in the history of combat sports. Lesnar's run was a huge deal, and fans were interested to see how WWE would present the former UFC champion. Lesnar's in-ring style would be altered in favor of an MMA-influenced moveset, but his signature moves were still intact. Lesnar's first rivalry upon his return was with WWE's top guy, John Cena. And this was a smart move, as it was a waste of effort and resources to book a program that saw Lesnar start from the bottom and work his way up to the top. Lesnar and Cena were involved in an incredible segment on the road to their Extreme Rules match, and it saw the two take part in a pull-apart brawl. These types of segments have been overused in WWE, but they set the template on how to handle a segment of this nature. In the segment itself, Lesnar would get carried away and accidentally legitimately punch Cena, leading him to bleed from the mouth. The botch punch added a sense of realism to the WWE product, which was badly needed at the time. The segment was met with critical acclaim, and evidently fans still love rewatching the segment, as it sits at 219 million views on WWE's YouTube channel. Number 4. Botched running knee. Speaking of Brock Lesnar's match with John Cena at the 2012 Extreme Rules event, the match featured a botch that could have potentially led to a serious injury. The botch occurred as Cena was on the ring apron, and Lesnar would proceed to perform a flying knee onto Cena. Lesnar managed to obtain so much momentum thanks to using the steel steps as a launching pad that he went flying over the ropes. It looked terrifying, but thankfully Lesnar was okay and he was able to finish off the match as originally planned. Number 3. Are we off the air? The babyface run that Brock Lesnar has undergone following his return at the 2021 SummerSlam event has been universally praised. Lesnar has shown more personality and has been involved in more comedic and entertaining segments. Lesnar seems happy and content with his character, and it looks like Lesnar simply doesn't care how he's perceived because he's simply playing himself on WWE television. This was seen in a humorous botch at Raw 30th, as the main event of the show featured Lesnar costing Bobby Lashley the US title in a match against Austin Theory. The spot in question was rushed due to time constraints, and as Lesnar was walking to the backstage area, he could audibly be seen asking a production member if they were off the air. This clip would only air in selected countries, but thanks to the power of social media, the clip will be heavily circulated. Number 2. Hitting a fan with a car door. One of the more controversial segments of 2015 saw Brock Lesnar destroy J&J Security's prized Cadillac. Now, the reason for the controversy was that as Lesnar was destroying the vehicle, he proceeded to throw a car door into the crowd, and this sadly hit a poor fan. WWE were forced to issue a statement which read, "WWE immediately responded to the incident during the show last night. The fan was unharmed and declined any medical attention." It was reported by PW Insider that WWE invited the fan backstage, but they were extremely lucky that this didn't lead to a severe lawsuit. This was a case of Lesnar not knowing his own strength, as it was obviously an accidental blunder, but one that should have been avoided at all costs. And number 1, well, you guessed it, the shooting star press. Well, the main event of WrestleMania 19 almost ended in complete disaster as Brock Lesnar landed on his head following a shooting star press attempt in his match against Kurt Angle. This was harrowing to witness, and there was concern that Lesnar had legitimately broken his neck. Lesnar had suffered a concussion and was somehow able to finish the match, albeit in a massive daze. In a rare interview with the Michael Kay Show in 2022, Lesnar would discuss the infamous botch. This is what the former WWE champion had to say. "That was foolish on my behalf. So you get people, producers and people from higher up in the company that always want this WrestleMania moment, and this would, be fantastic, and so I practiced it the night before. I was doing it on Ohio Valley Wrestling when I was being trained, so I'm a 310-pound man, 6'3", doing a front backflip off the top rope and landing on my opponent and winning matches. Kurt Hennig, bless his soul, he said, "You don't need to do that, stop doing that." And thankfully I didn't break my neck or anything like that, but I shouldn't have done that move. But there you have it folks, 10 of the most insane Brock Lesnar botches and fails. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.